Hey friends, and welcome to this week's nursery tour. Today we're going to focus on kind of combining two videos. A couple of days ago I did a video on kind of late winter chores to be doing in the garden as we transition from winter into spring. This is a really busy time in the garden, or it could be. And so there's lots of activities that we can be doing. So I want to combine the thought of those ideas that I was telling you about in that video. If you missed it, I will link it so you can check that out. But then like practical, okay, what does that look like here at Creekside Nursery? How can we help you prepare for a very successful spring and summer and years to come in your garden? So that's what we're gonna do, kind of nursery tour with that in the back of our brain. We're standing here right at the barn where if you come to the nursery, this is kind of where we keep all of the supplies and the different things. So we're going to move back up just a little bit with Jerry. When you check out, this is just one of the displays that we have of the tones, right? So we talk about the tones all the time. This is from Espoma Organics. This is their line of fertilizers. Whenever we plant an annual, perennial, shrub, tree, we highly recommend, we personally use Biotone. Biotone is a starter fertilizer, so you're only going to use this when you plant the plants. So whether, again, if it's an annual, go ahead and use it. Last year was the first year that we actually started using our Biotone with our annuals and saw a huge difference long term on how they adapted to the heat, the humidity, and we were not having to do like more fertilizer on a regular basis because they had a really strong root system. So the mycorrhiza in here attaches to the roots of the plant. It allows it to soak up all of the great oxygen and the water and the nutrition that is in your soil, and it encourages the roots to grow because, as we know, happy roots equal happy shoots. So whatever you're planting, you use this, right? So this is the starter fertilizer, and that's why it says Biotone Starter. Now, if you have plants existing in your landscape, right, as we go from winter into spring, it is the perfect time to feed your plants. I always compare it to like a bear hibernating. When the bear wakes up, he's hungry. Your plants wake up, they're hungry. They need food to grow. So that's kind of where the rest of the tones come in. You can get really specific if you want to. I tell people, if you are only going to buy one fertilizer to maintain your gardens, then that would be Plant Tone. Plant Tone is like the Swiss Army knife of fertilizers. You literally can use it on everything. You can use it on your annuals. You can use it on your vegetables. You can use it on the shrubs, the perennials, the trees. You name it, the Plant Tone is what you're going to use across the board. So this is what I use the most of because just the other week, I was doing the forest pansy bed, and you saw me because that bed is full of plants. Like even though they were dormant, you couldn't see them. I have hostas in there, so I just broadcast it. For your hydrangeas and your roses, if you want to get specific, then let's go for Rose Tone. Rose Tone, obviously, roses, right? But people don't think that it's also great for hydrangeas and butterfly bushes. When you have a woody shrub that produces flowers like a rose, like a hydrangea, like a butterfly bush, Rose Tone is what is great for it. I had somebody comment on a video and they're like, but on the Holly Tone bag it says to do hydrangeas with that. If you have nothing else and you use Holly Tone, it is fine. We go off the recommendation from our friends at Spring Meadow Nursery. They are the grower and breeder of the proven winner color choice shrubs. They recommend Rose Tone or a slow release rose fertilizer for your hydrangeas. So I'm going to go off of what they say. So we have that, and of course the Holly Tone is the red bag. This is for your acidic loving plants, your camellias, your gardenias, your hollies, your azaleas, those nice evergreen shrubs. Typically those are for hollies, that they love the Holly Tone rather. And then even on the bag, it will tell you your rhododendrons, those things, it tells you on the bag. So it is the time to go ahead and stock up. Now, before we know it, guess who's going to be arriving? A very unwelcomed guest here in our gardens, Japanese beetles. Yep, that's right. So we are plagued with Japanese beetles. They are just a horrible nuisance. There's no natural predator for them, so there's not a bird that eats them. There's nothing that eats the Japanese beetles. They are not a native insect here. So what we use to treat the Japanese beetles is this Fertilome tree and shrub drench. We have it online as well for you. All of this stuff is also online, so if you're not local, you can order it from us. But this is a drench that you apply once a year. It tells you in the directions based off what size the plant is as to how much you use. So you're going to dilute so many ounces of this with a gallon of water, and you pour it around the base of the plant sucks it up, and it prevents chewing insects on your whatever, right? So I'll use it on my perennial hibiscus, I use it on my roses, I use it on my Japanese maples. We have a redwood tree in the front yard. I use it on that. So whatever the beetles chew on, it also prevents like aphids and the sawtooth larva fly. Anything that chews and eats the foliage, it will eliminate. So we have that. Now is a great time to go ahead and do that before the beetles actually arrive. All right. We talk about getting your tools ready, making sure that you have the appropriate tools. So if you need to, maybe you need to invest, or maybe you've lost some tools, or maybe they're just broken. We have the Felco hand tools here available. This is a great trowel. These are really high quality, y'all. This is a really nice wooden handle, a great. Just if you know the Felco brand of pruners and clippers, this is their garden tools, and they really are so nice. So you've got the fork. This is perfect for breaking up that soil. So maybe you're going to be planting some vegetables and you need to get in there and break up the soil. That is great. They have the Swiss Hori Hori. The Swiss Hori Hori is a little different than the Japanese Hori Hori that I have. It has a rounded tip to it, but it really does a great job of getting in there and using, like, if you maybe the trowel's too big, but to like plant things and pop them in there. And then of course the weeder gets in there really nice. One of our sweet friends that is going to be arriving really soon are hummingbirds. And I have this hummingbird feeder on the window right there along the driveway in our shade garden. And I have had people ask me so many times, where did you get that feeder? Well, we found the source. So this feeder has 2 suction cups, so it will, you can put it on a window, a glass, and the hummingbirds love this feeder. I think it holds like 8 ounces. It holds right about a cup. I have had mine for years and they adore it. In the beginning, the hummingbirds are a little shy. They're a little bashful, so it takes them a little bit of time. By, mid-summer, I can be on one side of the window and they're on the other, and they do not even care. So you can really get up close and personal and see those hummingbirds when you use this. So anyway, we have that available because they're going to be coming super soon. I cannot wait, probably within like the next month. If you can also there's a migratory map where people enter in when they see it. It's really fun to watch the approach of the hummingbirds. Your Felcos, right? So we've got all the clippers. We've got the 905, the maintenance kit as far as like with the cleaners and the grease and all that. We have their own order. They are coming, so they should be here any day now. But when you have your Felco 2s, your 8s, your 6s, whatever size it is that you have that fits your hand, maintaining them is absolutely vital. So we have all of that for you as well. This past week, we got in it was almost like a truckload, wasn't it? It was like 9 pallets. So this is Daddy Pete. It's the same thing right here. This is what they call their soil enhancer. Basically what it is the aged pine bark fines. So you take pine bark, right? So the pine bark off of the tree, they chop it up so it's nice and small, and it is aged. So it has some maturity in it. And this is great to enhance your soil, just as the name suggests. So when you have compacted clay soil, maybe you're in new construction, right? New constructions are infamous for horrible soil because of all the moving and grooving and everything. This is wonderful to mix in. I know we have multiple seasoned master gardeners that love this stuff. My mama is one of them. She uses this all the time in her garden. She will use it, like I said, to enhance the soil, so she mixes it in. It also makes a great like top dress, like almost like a mulch, because as it breaks down, it is great. We have Miss Kathy. She loves, or I think it was Miss Kathy, that loves to mix this and like land and sea equal parts. So when she is potting up her conifers, she'll use that as her potting soil. So extremely versatile. It is a 2 cubic foot bag, so it's nice and big. It is an organic product, so if you are interested and need some help in amending your soil, remember that is an investment that we go long term, then we have plenty of this. It is great, great stuff. Like I said, if nobody else, we ordered it for my mama and Miss Kathy because they are huge fans of it. Speaking of, with the land and sea, don't worry, Jerry's going to bring down another pallet. We actually have a whole nother truckload coming, so y'all are loving the land and sea as much as we are. So we have got tons of land and sea. Of course, land and sea is the great compost from Espoma. This is what I use exclusively in my garden as far as when I am amending, I use it as a top dress. When you can do this once a year into your garden, whether you're planting something new or you have that established bed and you just need to add in some great organic material, this is a wonderful way to go. It does not smell. People were where the tones have a lovely fragrance, the compost has 0 smell. Nice, really organically rich, has some of that pine bark in it, so it has some aeration as well. So we use this in our flower beds. We also use it in our containers. More tones, right? The tones galore. And then of course the Proven Winners potting soil. Jerry and I stand behind this 100% as the only potting soil that I personally use in my containers. So this is what I use. I have tried others. I still come back to this. This is my absolute favorite potting soil. It has that perfect blend of retaining moisture, but it drains, because with our environment, I do not need potting soil that just holds on to water. I need it to drain, but yet hold the nutrition. And this is that perfect balance. And it has slow release fertilizer in here. So that nice time release fertilizer, so you don't have to worry about right away fertilizing your plants. But speaking of fertilizing, if you are ready to go ahead and start stocking up, of course we have the water soluble fertilizer, and we also have the time release that you can use as well with Proven Winners. This is what makes the difference, because food equals flowers for your annuals. So we have got those as well. We talked about adding in if you're looking at, bringing in color to your garden, seasonal color. Well, red buds are a great way to bring in seasonal color. They are the native tree. This one is getting ready to bud out in lots of color. This is the rising sun. Somebody was asking me if my forest pansy is budding out. I don't think so. I haven't gotten super up close to it to look. This is getting more sun than my forest pansy, so it's a little bit ahead of time. Another great way to bring in some spring color is the viburnum, right? This is the shades of pink viburnum. It is a 4 to 5 tall and wide, and it is an evergreen. So thinking of adding in seasonal color as we go through each season, look at your garden. Do you have some interest? If you don't, then let's fix that, right? Another great perennial to add to the garden, I was driving down yesterday, and you will see these in either in older homes or where homes used to be. So this is the creeping phlox. This is the Spring Bling series from Proven Winners. It is, of course, a perennial. Ground phlox. It is an early spring bloomer and just brings you loads of beautiful color, just nice of pops of color there. We were talking about in that video, if you're ready to go ahead and add some annuals into your garden. Of course, we've been in here several times, but we've got the nemesias that are just popping up. We have got the sweet alyssums, and then the osteos are starting to come as well. So we've got, there's a deep purple one over here that is blooming. So go ahead if you want to, and if you are prepared to take care of the plants, probably will, have another freeze frost. So I did 3 containers just because I was just ready to get my fingers in there and get those some annuals in. So I did the nemesias with some of the osteos. But if when we have super cold weather, I can easily go ahead and cover those and protect those. So I am giving you the cautious green light to go ahead and plant some of these. In fact, Jerry and I were talking, we were on the porch yesterday having coffee, and he's like, I really want to go and plant some super petunias somewhere in the landscape, because he wants to do a test. He wants to go ahead and let's put them in the landscape. Yes, you know, early mid-March, and let's see how they do through a couple of frost, maybe a freeze. How are they going to perform in the long run? So I have a feeling that's going to be coming up pretty soon, that we will be doing that as well. Wonderful time though to go ahead and add in the perennials. We talked about that. It is a wonderful time. You've got clematis. We have got foundation shrubs like the distilleums to enjoy. And then of course we've got those 2 star magnolias, lovely over there. I do want to pop over here real quick to the pines, because as we were actually driving over here from the house, I noticed that even my shade perennials are starting to wake up. So I have got my Solomon seal is waking up. You will see like these daylilies are waking up. They have been here, sitting here all winter. So this is a natural, they have not been forced. This is what they're looking like. If you want to divide or move your perennials, it is a great time to do it. Before this daylily gets really big with all of its foliage, let's go ahead and divide it now if you need to. Let's go ahead and move it if you want to. It is better to do it now than in the heat of the summer. But what I was going to say is my Solomon seal is waking up. My hostas are waking up, and we've got some of those waking up over here in the pines. We've got oak leaf hydrangeas that are putting on new growth. Somebody messaged me and said, my oak leaf is putting on new growth. Should I cover it, you know, if we get colder temperatures? I'm not. My Gatsby gal at the house is doing the same thing. I'm leaving it alone. It's fine. It kind of knows what it's doing. I'm going to leave it. But when you look over here at the hostas, this is the perfect time right here. These 2 stages right here, when you start to see your hostas and their little buds just starting to come out, if you want to divide or move them, this is the perfect stage to do it. Yes, you can do it when it's starting to unfurl. You can really do it anytime, but to protect the foliage, if you were to come in here right now and maybe you snap off a leaf, this is Angel Falls, you could have some, quote, damage that stays on the plant long term for this season. This is the primo time though to go ahead and divide it and move it. So just to give you a little heads up on that. Oh, by the way, this is Blueberry Muffin. This is the cutest hosta. It is so stinking cute. I grabbed actually 3 of them to put in the chicken coop area, but it's a nice little small tight one that is what we consider a blue hosta, right? So those are like your deep shade ones. The just as a FYI, the brighter the foliage over here, that you can see on the Angel Falls, so that nice bright green chartreuse foliage, these guys can take more sun. The deeper, darker, bluer hostas need to go in more shade. And also it's going to depend on what zone you are. My cool people, you can put hostas in full sun. I can't do that here. They will absolutely fry. Camellias. It is Japonica camellia season here in North Carolina. This is such a fun one. This one is the corkscrew camellia, and I'm gonna let Jerry get in here because this is what we would call like a contorted plant. So it naturally has really kind of funky, twisted stems on it. They're not going to be straight like the other camellias right around me. So this is what's really neat about this one. And then look, she's blooming. Beautiful pink, soft pink flowers. This one's going to be 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. Cold hardy to a 7, and then in your warmer zones. If you have a camellia that's blooming now, it is a Japonica. We have the white by the gate right here. We have April Tryst. April Tryst is going to be, let me see my sizes. It's 6 to 8 as, no, that's the wrong one. 5 to 8 tall, 3 to 4 wide. It's not blooming now. There was a bloom on an April Tryst last weekend. It was spectacular. A really double ruffled one, really deep pink, almost a red. Stunning. So now is the time, if you're looking, talking about that interest, if you want to add that interest, look at white by the gate over here. I keep telling Cece, I'm like, I'm going to grab one of these white by the gates and I'm going to put it up near the chicken coop, because look at that. Even though it's a little bit of an older bloom, it's got a little bit of damage on it, who cares? It's gorgeous. So great time to go ahead, add in those astilbes, right? Dark side of the moon. She's waking up. It's a 2-gallon, gorgeous. So come on out, let us help you and get ready for a great spring and summer and fall and all the things. If you check out our events page, we've got food trucks coming. We have got really fun. I don't know that we have it on the calendar yet, but I'll give you a little sneak peek. April the 13th, right, Jerry? Yeah, April the 13th. You're going to want to come to the nursery on April the 13th. Why do you want to come to the nursery on April 13th? Because the one, the only, Mr. Greg Newald, who is the owner of Power Planter, the augers that we use, he is coming down. He is going to come see us. He is going to lead a power plant workshop, completely free. So if you want to know anything about a power planter, how it's made, how do you use it, what drill should you use, the safety, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Greg's gonna be here. He is an absolute scream. He is a fantastic human being. Not only is he a business partner with us, he is a fantastic friend, and we absolutely adore both he and his entire family. So Greg is gonna come down from Illinois to come spend the weekend with us. He will be here on April the 13th. You're gonna wanna come. Completely free. Just come hang out with us. I'm sure we have a food truck that weekend. I don't know, I have to look on the calendar, but it's going to be a fun time. So mark your calendar for April 13th and come see us and shop, shop, shop. All right, my friends, as always, we so appreciate you. You have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.